answer to the question how people survive there without food and water supply. Now this is not part of the rock of Masada. This is the Roman ramp. The Roman built the ramp to attack Masada. We're going to watch a short movie about it, and then the ramp is here. You see, this is the ramp. From here, that's the bottom of the ramp, that's the top of the ramp. So this is the Roman ramp. Now you see that there is a valley all around Masada. Another thing you can see, rectangular shaped structures around Masada. Like here, those are remains of the Roman camps. So when we will be up on the cable car looking down, you'll be able to see it clearly. He was still in charge, and people came to ask his advice, and he welcomed them in his public palace, not this one. We have the Western Palace for public receptions. But he wanted some privacy, so he ordered the engineers to build in here a private palace. So they built this wall, which is this wall in the model, as a separation between the public part and the private part, and built this part of the palace. When Herod came here to supervise the work, he was disappointed. He looked around him and said, "This is my palace. I expected something bigger." He ordered the engineers to enlarge it. How can you enlarge it when this is a wall that already existed and over there there is a vertical cliff? But Herod engineers had an answer to everything, similar to what he did in the Temple Mount. Man-made plateau here, man-made plateau here, and they built another 2 levels that was connected with a spiral staircase. You see, part of the staircase is here. Here, inside this structure, a spiral staircase was found, and the exit is here.
Wow.
So, no doubt. Now he built a wall all around it. You see, double wall with rooms inside the wall. So the soldiers could live inside the suspicious noise from outside. He built some watchtowers, he built residential area for the soldiers. But when Herod came here to supervise the work, he realized that this can also be an excellent winter palace. It can be freezing cold in Jerusalem, we can have snow in Jerusalem. So he told the engineers to change the plan and build him a winter palace here. Here will be Herod the Great. He built here facilities that we have only in 5-star hotels in the area. He built swimming pools in places that there is no water supply. How we fill it with water, we'll learn later. He built a bathhouse. He built 2 palaces. Now Herod, in spite of his fears, he died naturally in the year 4. After his time, small number of Roman soldiers were stationed here to protect the road down below. And this was the situation until the year 66 AD. In the year 66 AD, the rebellion started against the Romans, but it started far away from here. Started in the Galilee. Took the Romans 4 years to fight against the freedom fighters in the Galilee. And then in the year 70, Jerusalem was destroyed. And actually, the Jewish story of Masada is the story of 3 years only, between the year 70 to the year 73. Josephus Flavius, that is a very accurate historian, he said that 968 people here from Jerusalem. They came at night, surprised the Romans, climbed the snake path, and captured the place. Assuming that a third were women and a third children, we talk about 300 fighters, maximum 350 fighters. What this number of fighters can do against the big Roman Empire? Probably nothing. But the Romans were afraid that this would be a nest of another revolution. And against these 300 fighters, they sent an army of 10,000 soldiers that came together with 10,000 Jewish slaves, Jewish prisoners of war that they took in Jerusalem. These 20,000 came and were sure that it would be very easy to capture. But you could see the snake path. Even if you have million soldiers behind you, only two can form the front line. And the people used the weapon of their time, big boulders that they rolled down on the head of the enemy. I will show you some of these boulders, bow and arrows and spears. And after a few attempts to attack, the Romans understood that they will not be able to do it. They changed the tactic and they were sure that in such a desolate place in the desert, people will not be able to survive without food and water supply. So they built 8 Roman camps around Masada, connected all the camps with a wall, and put a siege around Masada, and nobody was able to go to Engedi and bring supply. But because of 15 storerooms that were full of food, I'll show it to you, and because all the south part of Masada, past that green flag, there is no buildings, it was a farm, and because of the clever water system, people had enough food and more than enough water. Josephus Flavius mentioned in his book that in order to tease the Romans and show them that they have enough water, they used to wash their clothes and put it on the wall to dry. So if your enemies see that you have enough water for laundry, no doubt that you have enough water to drink. So after about a year of a siege, the Romans decided to change the tactic again. On the other side of Masada, not the cable car side, but the other side, there is a deep valley, and next to that deep valley, a sandy hill. They ordered the Jewish slaves to move the hill towards Masada. They gave them buckets, and day and night they brought sand and built the ramp. When the ramp reached almost the top, they built that wooden tower, as you could see in the movie, and started to destroy the wall. When the first wall was destroyed, they faced another wall. You see, the wall was double wall. When they destroyed the second wall, the people here ran out of stones and they built another barrier made out of wood. And of course, when they saw the wooden wall, they set it in fire. In that point, Elazar, the son of Yair, this is the name of the Jewish commander here, he understood that he will not be able to stop the Romans. He gathered his people and gave them his last speech. He told them that normally human beings are born free, and normally we die as free people. And then he described what terrible way of life they will have in case they will fall alive to the hand of the Romans. He told all the men that they will be slaves for the rest of their lives. He told them that the Romans will tie their hands behind their backs. They will hear how their kids are crying, "Daddy, help us," and they will not be able to help. They will see how the Romans abuse their daughters and wives, and they will not be able to stop it. Picturing such a terrible picture, he brought them to the decision. And he told them that in his own opinion, the only good way to live this world in freedom and dignity is to commit a suicide. The terrible test was given to every head of a family to kill his own family. And then they made lots. Who will be the last 10, and drew a lot who will be the last one that will have to kill the other 9. As you could see, Professor Netzer in the movie said that that was the most emotional thing that he found. The 10 pieces of clay with 10 Jewish names. One of them was the name of the commander, Elazar ben Yair, Elazar the son of Yair. Only 2 women and 3 children were afraid to commit a suicide. They escaped to a cave and they saw what's happening here and they told it to Josephus Flavius. So we have eyewitnesses to what happened here. That's how we know about it. Of course, they took them later to be slaves, but the important thing is that they told it to Josephus Flavius. Now, because we have only one source of information about what happened here, and that's Josephus Flavius, we don't have any other writers that wrote about it. So some of the people said, maybe it's all the imagination of the writer. Maybe the story of Masada never happened. But in the excavations here between 1962 to 1965, we found out that we can call Josephus Flavius the master of details. Everything he wrote in his book was found. The exact size of Masada, the exact number of watchtowers. So we don't have any reason to doubt the complete story. But Masada is not only a story from 2,000 years ago. We educate our youth in the spirit of Masada. And many of the army units, including my unit many years ago, we came here for the swear-in ceremony to the Israeli army. And I will never forget it. The center part of it was when we got the Bible in one hand and the rifle in the other hand, we all said together, Masada shall not fall again. What we mean by saying it, we mean that we must be strong and well equipped, that we'll never be in such a terrible situation that we have to make this decision, death or slavery. So Masada is not just another interesting archaeological site. Masada is the Statue of Liberty of Israel. That's how we look at it, and it was important for me to deliver it to you because that's how I want you to feel when you travel up here. The Statue of Liberty of Israel.